Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the After Hours podcast. We appreciate you more than you will ever know. Right now, we are trying to build up our YouTube page, and we need your help. If you could please go on YouTube and click on the magnifying glass, type in Donny Grubb Band, click subscribe, click the bell icon, and click on all. It would really help us out a lot. Again, we thank you for everything that you do, and we really appreciate it. Thanks for helping us out.
Whoops, yeah, what?
Damn it. You're like, he's in his 30s. I'm like,
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm 35. Well, how old are you?
32.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm not that old. I know I got the
good.
peppering going on here, but I just like to call that being
I'm
distinguished.
starting to grow mine in. Look, you got. If I grow mine out that far, I think I'm going to have a few more grays
Just do
showing.
it, dude. Just do it.
I've been wanting to shave it for so long now.
Man, but it's no shave November.
I know. People have told me that all the time, so I don't grab my razor because it's not shaving, but I grab my little buzzer.
Yeah. I'll just so you know, I've definitely shaved. I've shaved. So I don't get into all that stuff. I'm just like, man, I don't know why I need to endure torture. Like I just want to, live my life like any other month, I guess.
I know, and people are going to be like, oh, my God, how dare you? It's no shave November. Like, well, you want to look like crap.
Who says?
I
the
don't
internet?
know.
I mean,
where did it come from?
I blame it on Facebook.
I think it came before internet, though.
You think so?
I don't know.
I don't remember hearing about No Shave November until like maybe 5 years ago. Maybe.
Maybe it was a trend created in a high school.
Maybe. See, I was growing this thing by the time I was a sophomore when I started growing this.
I'm still going through puberty, so I can't even say it. Puberty.
Right, going through puberty, you got like the lowest voice
Little
ever.
bald spots. Like, dang it, shave it off. All right, let's try again.
Yeah, you got that look though. You can rock that 5 o'clock shadow, and it just looks you just look stunning. All the ladies are like, "Oh, Josh Roy."
Oh my God. I know.
Before we get too far in there, you're a married man, right?
I am.
You got a kid and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm wearing this thing, right? And most of the time,
that's a good call. You should wear that thing when you're married.
Right. So it looks like I'm a king, but anyway, so it's bright and and you can see it. I mean, from a mile away, right? So I was playing a show last night. Last night. It's Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Sunday is Sunday.
Today is Sunday.
So
we're still in that. Yes,
I know.
we are.
Some lady walks in and she's like, "Hey, I'm a singer and can I sing a song with you?" And I said, "Well, sure, but I don't have another mic, so this is gonna be a little weird." Right? Like, what do you want to do? Like, come up right next to my mouth and sing right into the same microphone I got? And she was like, "Well, you should really bring 2 microphones." And I said, "Well, sorry."
So
she comes up and she
not
goes,
in the cards sometimes.
Yeah, I know. And then she goes, and she's standing to my left, and left hand, left ring finger, whatever. It's right there. She goes into my left ear, looking probably right down at the ring, and goes, "Are you single?" I'm like, no.
Right. I am not single. Thank you for doing that as seductively as possible and making the hair on the back of my neck just go.
I know. And she was asking me with her lips touching my cheek, right? I mean, in my ear.
Oh, no.
Like, oh, my God.
That's when you're like, okay, honey, I just need to call my wife real quick and just say, this happened. I'm not happy about it, but it happened.
I know. She goes, "I'm not from around here." And I said, "Well, what do you mean you're not from around here? Where are you from?" She goes, "Scottsdale."
You're like, well,
wow.
It shows. It
you
shows.
Went far.
That's right. And it ventured out. She's like looking around, dude, like a prairie dog or something, just scared. Oh, man, there's places outside of Old Town?
Yeah, it was awesome,
man.
though.
I thought Cave Creek was far.
I know. Hey, you know what? I do have to mention this because the first time I've lived here my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I got booked at a place called Chillin's, which I'm pretty sure you've heard of before.
I don't think I've ever heard of Chillin.
Me either, right? And I'm thinking that some people have probably had heard this place because
it Chillin's or Jolene's?
So CH, so Chillin's, and
Chillin's.
It's a steakhouse, and
Okay.
it's Black Canyon City.
Okay.
And the place is right out, literally you take the exit off 17 of Black Canyon City,
Okay.
and you have to drive around to be able to see this place, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go in there. It's the first time I ever played in this place. Unbelievable. The crowd, the people the regulars, everybody that shows up this place.
It's like crazy busy, huh?
Country music lovers.
Really?
And absolutely. I had a conversation with my wife just the other day, and I said, and you may have gotten to this point before, but where you kind of get burnt out. You play the same place every week. You're like, all right, got to leave the house. I know exactly what time I have to leave the house to get to the gig in this specific time, even with traffic.
Yep.
So I started getting a little burnt out just because it was so repetitive that I wanted something new. I wanted to feel something new. So this was literally a solo gig.
Yeah.
I drove out there to just go play.
Okay.
By myself, and I had nothing but the attention on how my own sound was, my vocals, my guitar. Two things, easy.
Do I have a booger? Like, what's going on?
So, and I started playing this, and the crowd it literally resonated with them so well that they were requesting songs constantly. It became more of a hangout session.
That's
than
awesome.
It was
But that's cool when it turns into that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what we got here at the Hitching Post is like we got our regulars, and it definitely is that. Like, at times, like if, gets to be like 11:30 at night, and there's only a few people, we'll be like, hey, let's go sit at a chair, and Donnie will pick out a flat top. He hasn't actually done this yet, but we're just like, I think we should start doing this in the future because it's just like, I mean, we could have amplified sound and just sing at you, or we could all just sit together and hang out and just, play music and hang out and talk.
I got to be on this side of town, man. I not being on this side of town at all, and not seeing this. This is the first time I've ever been here.
Oh, the Post. The Post. Man,
oh my!
Speaking English weird today.
Well,
the Post.
Yeah, Hitching Post.
Yes.
Is it Hitching or Hitching Post?
I think it just depends who you ask. This is beautiful Apache Junction, Arizona. Here. There's a lot of different dialects happening.
Oh man, it's so Western though. I mean, I'm looking around and going, man, I mean this just to play here. I mean, just look at all the. I mean, you got a freaking elk head on the wall.
Elk head,
right
there's a cougar over here.
Yeah.
And they got the scariest, mannequins ever up here.
Oh God, I didn't even know that was there. Why you got to bring up this stuff right in the middle?
Just now you got this mannequin breathing down your neck up here.
All right, well,
with one eye popping out of that thing on its head there. Yeah.
It's been nice. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and
I will never be back here again.
I'm going to the QT. Meet me there.
This is a good safe haven. That's where all the cops hang out anyway. It's a good place. Well, yeah, dude. No, this is definitely very different from the west side of town. I think West Side does have some cool stuff going on, though. I mean, again, to us, West Side is, Cave Creek. So Cave Creek's got a lot of...
Well, that's your West Side. My West Side is like, you go out to Longhorn.
We're going to...
way out
right,
there,
and West Side, we're going to Palo Verde. That's where we're going.
Yeah. We're going to play at the nuclear power plant. Next, when you leave, you're going to have an extra tooth growing out of your face.
Right? Because you need that chomper right there. You need that chomper. And you're going mutant there. Yeah. That's awesome.
And I'll tell you, being on the West Side and seeing the West Side, so I talk about this a little bit to people that are real close to my circle, but I did construction for like 11 years.
Okay.
And I was doing
a lot of musicians do that.
Yeah, acoustical ceilings, and I was in.
Oh, that's cool.
I was doing a job out there, way out on like 411th Avenue and I-10, right, way out by the power plant, and I was doing this little trucker stop. Mm-hmm. I swear I was hearing ghosts in the walls.
Yeah, sometimes we hear some weird stuff in here.
Oh man.
Yeah, the story is this used to be a boat repair shop. Really? And the owner of the boat repair shop actually died here because one of the boats fell on him.
Woo!
Right?
All right.
Basically where we're sitting, actually. I know this is just getting better and better for you, isn't it? I need to give a disclaimer before people come here.
Oh man. Oh, this is cool though. I want to start venturing out on the east side. I want to start seeing a lot more of the stuff on this side. I know that I've played only a couple of gigs out in this general area, but I think that what you find out here is a lot of the country lovers, a lot of those the same people that I love the most, which is the ones that love country the way country I think should be.
Yeah, well, you said 90s country.
Yeah.
A lot of people like that 90s stuff. A lot of outlaw. Yeah. A lot of people like the outlaw country out here.
Yeah.
There's some there's some of the western stuff too out here. A lot of the
Well, I mean, country music was always supposed to be about a story, and I was watching that program that was on PBS, and they were saying and it was supposed to be three chords and the truth.
Yeah.
That was country music. You know?
You gotta like the sayings that all these
Yeah.
fellas got. It's like doesn't get much better than a lot of that there.
No, and you can tell so many things in a different way that kind of resonate with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's from what I've learned in my own personal experience is the hook of a song has the melody has a hook to it. Those words and that story resonates with people a lot more.
Absolutely.
As opposed to just being like, some drunk sitting in a bar and being like, I'll tell you something. Laugh.
Yeah.
All right.
But a lot of it ends up a lot of it starts that way.
I know.
Like you'll come home and you'll be like, that drunk said something very profound on accident.
He wrote it on a napkin. Here you go.
Yeah, I can't read it anymore, but I knew what he was saying.
As Donnie says, give me my glasses.
Right. Exactly. So funny. But yeah, no, that's that. It's okay. So I didn't start as a country musician at all.
What'd you do?
I was a rocker. I did the rock music, and playing with Donnie was my first foray into the country scene, if you will. And that was quite a transition going from, I was in a progressive rock band before that,
Wow.
I played in another, I don't even know what to call it. It was, I guess we'd call it indie. But,
Was that in Minnesota then?
I was here. I moved down here when I was 11. So, I mean.
Sorry, I turned my head to burp.
It's okay. It's all right. You can do it on the mic, too. It's fun. Everybody loves hearing that.
Yeah.
But no, that was the biggest thing, like what you said. The biggest thing that you had to, or I had to wrap my head around and understand was that it's not that the music comes secondary. It's just that the lyrics and the story is the primary focus. So, like, it's not about crazy fills. It's not, I mean, when I say not a crazy guitar parts and stuff, it is about the crazy guitar parts. But the primary focus is the lyrics and the story, like always. And that was, that took me a little bit to get my head around. But I appreciate it more because I didn't like country at all before I did it. And then, like, I have a completely new appreciation for it because of, I'm like, oh, so that's what you're listening to.
And you had to really change your playing style.
Oh, absolutely.
That too.
Yeah.
And I got to say it because I, especially with when you did my album and you did all the drum parts of my album, everything was so spot on. And I think the dynamics of what you had was just spot on. I
appreciate that.
Everything, and I think that, I mean, it's so easy to do overkill and to do too much because you want to really be that shining, thing in a song, and it's so easy to get lost in that.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when you got all these drums and you're just like, oh, I want to hear
I
all
know.
these sounds in this song, and that's not how it is in country music, man. You could get away with just a snare drum in most cases.
And it just whatever keeps the beat, whatever keeps people's feet tapping during a song, But listen to this song, listen to the songs that you did was kind of like, I don't think that I could have gone anywhere else to get anything better.
Oh,
As far as that album was concerned.
making me blush here.
I'm just saying, and these songs they turned out, gosh, so well that I've been to a few different recording studios, from house to house, and people doing it in their own house and stuff, which is fine, but trying to meet those musicians and those session players that knew what the heck they were doing was
Well, on top of that, it's understanding what you're doing as far as having a rock person come in, like a rock drummer or a rock guitarist trying to play country if they don't have a understanding, an appreciation, or a
I think it's just the general knowledge. It's the general
the knowledge is there, but also you have to have the appreciation for it, and you have to respect it too, I think. And it's kind of like, like if you try to go into jazz and you've never played jazz before, if you don't have respect for it and like you don't have an understanding for it, you're not going to sound like a jazzer. You're going to sound like somebody else trying to play jazz. Same kind of thing with country,
Yes.
You could tell the dudes that haven't fully, embraced what it is. And I'm not going to say I fully embraced it, and I'm not going to say I'm perfect at it by any stretch of the imagination. But when I first started with this band, I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to play country. Like I had the opportunity presented to me, and I I was just like, well, I'm gonna do this, and you know what? I'm gonna do it to the best of my abilities, and I'm going to try to play it as honestly as I can.
Yeah.
And that's I've been playing with Donny now since 2013. So.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? This is Kit from the After Hours Podcast. You may be asking yourself, why do we call this a podcast if I'm watching this on YouTube or even Facebook? Well, the answer is you can actually listen to us while you're driving or while you're flying or while you're swimming or even while you're working out. A lot of people like it this way because they don't have to look at our ugly mugs. The way to do this is that you click on the app that's called Podcast if you're using an Apple product. Once you're inside the app, you just click at the bottom where it says search. Type Donny Grubb Band into the search bar that shows up at the top. Then once After Hours with the Donny Grubb Band shows up, click on subscribe. And then you will be subscribed to the After Hours with the Donny Grubb Band podcast. So now anytime that we release a new podcast, you should get a notification and you should be able to find it really easily so that you can listen to it in your day-to-day events. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate you guys.